Hey everybody, Chris and John here for another episode of Stuff John and Chris Want to Know. John, what is it we want to know today?
I just want to go on record as saying this was your idea.
It was my idea.
And
I'll fess up. In my defense, John was 110% on board when I mentioned it.
I absolutely was, but I just want to be clear because I get blamed
All
for.
right, tell him what it was.
We want to know if we could take one of the harder, if not the hardest. So we couldn't really figure out what the hardest one was, but if it would be possible to take a state level CHL or CCW or whatever acronym your state uses, live fire qualification, and pass it blindfolded.
Right, because this is something that, anyone who's remotely accomplished as a shooter looks back at their concealed carry class and like, man, that was easy. I probably could have passed that blindfolded. So we decided to see if we could actually do it. We shot it first. We chose the Texas handgun qualification, which I won't give you the whole course of fire, but it's basically time strings of fire at 3, 7, and 15 yards, 50 shots total. Fairly simple, even with the fairly generous time restraints.
Sure.
We shot it sighted and both cleaned it 100% no problem. Then we did it blindfolded. John passed it on the first try, so some minor coaching from me, and then the state of Texas gives you 3 tries before you pass it. It took me all 3 tries, but I did pass it on my third try with a lot of coaching from John, but was able to get there.
Well, to be clear, too, as far as the coaching goes, the coaching was, hey, the target's that way.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I firmly believe, had I been in a traditional shooting range where I've got a bench in front of me and a lane that I'm in, something to just sort of be able to kind of true myself to, it would have been
Some kind of physical index.
Yeah, it would have been even easier. What makes this one so easy, if you know what you're doing, is the target that they're using, and the time standards are very generous. And the entire purpose behind this is not to take away from people that had a hard time passing this and worked up to passing it. That's a great accomplishment. Anytime that you start one place and improve yourself to another place, 100% for that. The thing that is troublesome, if you look at the language that Texas uses to describe what they are trying to prove with this qualification, they are trying to prove proficiency.
This is supposed to be a demonstration that you are proficient with a handgun.
Yeah, proficient enough to carry a handgun. And I don't know, Chris, what do you think about the state being involved in that process?
All right, guys, so we are dangerously close to getting into political territory here, which is something that we try to avoid at all costs because we welcome people from all parts of the political spectrum. But whether or not you believe the state has any business telling me what I am and am not qualified to do, the state is obviously not very good at it. So they're not really qualified to tell me whether I'm proficient because the state test is not a good measure of technical proficiency with a handgun, nor is it a good measure of whether you're competent to carry a handgun, which are 2 separate things.
Well, and the other issue, too, is that this qualification is designed to be passed, and that's fine. But if it's designed to be passed, why does it exist at all? Because any test that is designed to be passed is frankly useless and is not a measure of anything at all other than you took the time to go and take this test that is meaningless. Sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings. I'm trying to be super nice here, and this is why I wanted to be clear that this was your idea, because historically this would have been my idea. I'm trying.
Well, and again, political philosophy aside, this test, if someone takes it and passes it, the problem is that it gives them, or it could give them, a false sense of security. Oh, I passed the test. The state says I'm qualified, when you clearly are not. And you need more training. You need more understanding of the broader spectrum of things that need to happen in order to make you competent and safe with a handgun. The test doesn't really do that. We're not saying the test should be more difficult. Honestly, if anything, there should be no test because, again, political philosophy aside, if there's no test, at least the person can't think, oh, I'm qualified because someone said I'm qualified, and maybe then they will go out and seek some training versus the person who has the worst possible qualification and has a false sense of security.
Well, and the other thing too is you can look at the numbers from the states that don't require any live fire training, and frankly, there's not blood in the streets, there's
Right.
not chaos.
You can't point to any significant
No,
difference.
you can't even a little bit. And I will get semi barely kind of a tiny bit, little tiny kind of political and say that it's a right. It's a right. There isn't a test to exercise a right. And if there was, then before everyone hops into the comments and says whatever they're going to say, and I'm sure it will be constructive and we will appreciate it very much, there should be a test before they're able to do that. But there isn't, because that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. And we are both big fans of training, and we both benefit from people seeking out training
Right.
and from them looking into improving themselves and their self-defense preparedness. So we're hugely in favor of that, just not hugely in favor of
Mandatory training.
mandatory state mandated training. So there you go.